25-10-130 and 25-10-190 regarding where the definition should rest, including a new definition for indoor storage. And that's it at this point in time. If that's all that you want to forward up to the council, then again, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. That's all you need to do if that's what the pleasure of this commission is. If you want to do that, and you want to offer an opinion to the council that you think that these other things should be looked at as a long-term thing, you can do that as kind of a motion. It's up to the council to decide what they want to look at when they want to look at it. But you can move that you think it may be appropriate to do a reevaluation and so on and so forth. It's kind of independent of this action. You're just saying that, yeah, we think there's some questions here that need to be answered and need to have a broader look, if I'm understanding you correctly.
That's what I intended, yes.
You can say no.
Is that a motion? Could you repeat the motion and we'll get a second?
Yeah, I'm really long-winded, so keep it real short.
So I make a motion that we forward to the city council that we, the planning commission, need to take a holistic look at our land use right now to include our mixed parcels, retail parcels, and industrial parcels, and make sure that we, as the planning commission, offer the right incentives and target the right businesses to meet the intent of our founding fathers, which is for a vibrant downtown and thriving industrial area, and not mixing the two.
Second. I will second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Chair, can we
Aye.
discuss?
Aye. All opposed say no.
I would like to discuss before voting.
Okay.
I am 100% in support, insofar as I believe that is our job as the planning commission. And if I may assume at your intent that we need to take a better look at things before we move on this, then I 100% agree.
I mean, I think what we've heard tonight is, there's been a lot of missteps, there's been a lot of misinformation, there's been a lot of decisions made by the Planning Commission, and that our citizens here feel like doesn't necessarily represent their interests. So before we address this specific one, I would like to sit back holistically, invite you back to continue the discussion, because we come every second Monday of the month and we talk about these things. I think our next agenda item was actually to discuss the land use as we go through our comprehensive plan. I looked at the minutes. And we did discuss some of the land use. So as we work through our comprehensive plan and we look at where we are now and where we want to go, I think collectively we need to do a better job at looking at second and third order effects, taking into consideration what we want as our community, and then listening to what the rest of our community wants as well.
As I was listening to the presentation and listened to the citizens, my inclination is to vote to move this forward to the city council. Not so much that I am strongly in favor of it, but I just do believe that this type of change, this type of business requires the additional analysis that the city council process would give it, and that this is so important that it's something that our elected city council should have to take their whack at it. That said, I believe that we do need some more time to analyze this. I don't think the commissioners are really comfortable making a decision with what we have right now. And I think we do need to probably table this, or not table it, but just kick it, I don't want to say kick it down the road, but do some further analysis on this before we do take a motion and pass it on to the city council. That's all I have.
Mr. Chair, I mean, I can offer up that whether you take a motion or not to ask the council to take a look at anything else, they're going to have the minutes and they're going to see the discussion that you had on this, and they'll know that there was a lot of discussion about what should or shouldn't happen. At some point down the road, I mean, we are beginning to take a look at some things to amend our comp plan next year. That agenda is fairly well full. I mean, I can actually tell you, and I'll state honestly that I've got 4 years of work to do within a year. This is probably something that, in all honesty, if I'm asked, I will say can't be taken on to do the type of work that you're talking about. Some of the things that you have raised up as questions are part of what will be considered next year, but not in the overarching and broad sense that you've discussed, I think, in terms of the broad sense of the question. But I think in terms of the discussion you had and the minutes that would reflect that discussion, the council will certainly understand that you have a lot of questions that you feel need to be answered before we start making or make some sort of changes, at least in this particular area. And that's, I would have to say this particular area because we're only talking about just the mixed use and zoning classification right now. If I understand the intent of what you, kind of where you're going and trying to help you kind of craft a closure to this or move whatever you want to move forward. And right now we know we just have the one motion of what item you would move forward.
So there's a motion on the table that's been seconded, and I'm not sure what that motion is. So it was not succinct, so I would have problem voting yes or no on that. I would make a motion to remove that motion from the table.
I would second that.
Procedure, you do not need to make a motion to remove a motion, you just vote it down, and it's dead. If I understood the motion from Commissioner Brown, it was essentially encouraging the council to take a much broader look at a lot of these issues before anything else moves forward. If I'm paraphrasing in a very succinct way.
No, that's exactly it.
Yeah, but again, I think that based on the discussion that you had, whether you make a motion or not to that effect, the council will see that and will, understand what your concerns are. And because my report to the council, when I take forward a motion you did make, would also be reflective of the comments and concerns that you had with respect to looking at the broader issues in context. So, I mean, I would certainly convey that on to the council as I brought forward the portion that you are moving forward. So I think with Commissioner Brown's motion, even if you were to vote it down, the message will still be carried forward.
So Jeff, so we have a motion out there that we need to vote yea or nay.
Yes, you have a motion has been seconded, so you have to take action on the motion, either to approve it as moved, or to, you can vote it down. As I said, even if you vote it down, the intent, the desire, the interest, the concerns expressed in that motion are already going to go forward to the council when they see, because they will have the minutes from this meeting and they will have the report that I will present to the council when they do discuss this, relaying your strong concerns about this. I'll do my best to relay them as strong as you outline them. I'll do my best to transmit that on to the council in terms of my discussion with them as well.
So if we vote this down, we haven't really made a decision on whether we're bringing this recommendation forward.
You made a positive action. Your positive action was that we will amend 2510-130 and 2510-190. And that's all you've done, and that's what I will take forward on to the council. Out of this entire proposal, your motion is just to amend that section of the code. And that is what will be brought forward to the council for their action.
Okay. So that's already been forwarded, so.
I hope that answers your question.
Proposal to send it as is. Okay, we have the motion and it's been seconded. And let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, say no. No. The motion does not carry.
I promise, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, I will relay your interests and concerns to the council strongly as you outlined them tonight.
Thank you, Jeff.
So the only thing we just approved, and the only thing we're sending through, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people in here that might be confused like me, just make sure. The only thing that we approved was changing the definition and where it is in our comprehensive plan.
Correct.
That is what we're recommending to the city council.
That's correct.
We as the planning commission took and forwarding nothing with regards to the proposal that the citizens came here to talk to about tonight.
You've taken, the only action you have taken on the proposal is just with regard to the definitions.
We're
And that's what,
taking action by not
and
forwarding.
that's what we presented to the council, which is your motion on, your motion to approve the changes in the definitions to those two sections of the code.
All right. I think that wraps that up. We will get, that concludes the deliberation and the vote of the public hearing for the proposed text amendment. Our next item, unfinished business. We have no unfinished business from next week or from our last meeting. Item number 8 is new business. We were scheduled to review the Planning Commission rules of procedures, but given the late hour, I'd entertain a motion to table this until our next meeting.
I would move that we postpone that until our next meeting.
Yes, postpone, not table. Two
Postpone.
entirely different meetings, so.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The motion carries, and review of the Planning Commission rules and procedures is postponed until the next meeting. Item number 9 is a discussion on our long-term Planning Commission schedule. And I know, Jeff, you sent us out a draft of that. Did you have any?
I would always list it as draft because it's always a document in flux. Just by tonight, actions itself may raise different things that will be added to the agenda. But what we have, and I think what some of the commissioners referred to, is that the next commission meeting will actually be a public hearing on multiple amendments to the municipal code that were in response to the amendment to the comp plan in 2015. We've had several work sessions on that, and so those will be coming forward with respect to those changes that are needed to implement the comp plan as it was adopted in 2015. That's what's on the agenda right now for the November meeting. I suggest that we've had the draft rules procedure. I know the commission has talked about going to 2 meetings a month, and I would tend to think that going into next year, that'll probably be something that will have to occur. As we've talked, it's easier to have 2 meetings scheduled and cancel one for no business than to always try and find a date to add a new meeting. So at some point, we'll want to discuss that and get your concurrence with that in terms of, because I've also included a section out of the municipal code that relates to the planning commission duties and when the meetings now are held. Because then we want those specific amendments to the city council that they can take forward as an ordinance to them. You don't need to necessarily adopt by motion. We can have that discussion. I propose it, take it to the council as an amendment to the municipal code to make those necessary changes if we want to go to 2 meetings a month and any other little logistical things to make all that work in the municipal code. If we're going to do that, it's a great opportunity to do it to try and transition to start off the new year with that. Whether that happens in January, it doesn't necessarily matter. It's always an on month being the first month of the year, and some holidays are still in there. But the sooner we start into that, I think the better. So we can either deal with that at the next meeting in terms of what your thoughts are. I can craft something to take forward to the city council and talk about it at the December meeting, and hopefully we can get some action then in January and really maybe start that off in February, no later than March.
That sounds good. So I guess, members, I'd like to ask you to take a look at the draft Planning Commission rules and procedures, and just mark up your copies and have some proposals and whatnot, so we can get right when we come in next month. We can get right into that and make whatever changes we see fit and get that pushed through. Item number 10 is our second opportunity for audience comments. If anybody any citizens have any non-agenda items they would like to speak to, please step up to the microphone, state your name, address, and keep your 3 minutes or less.
Kevin on Foreman Road. I noticed noticed that we had new business, but there wasn't an opportunity for new business. How does one add to new business?
The agenda is set between us and the chair. New business is what we place on there. And you can raise public comment to the commissioners, and if they want to add something at a future date, we can certainly do that. But new business, I mean, it's not intended to strike up new conversations and new activities as part of the agenda unless it's on the agenda. So during the audience portion, if there's something you'd like to raise in their interest to have them consider, you would do it at this time during one of the public comment portions of it. Then it would be placed on the agenda at a future date down the road, should they choose to do that.
Okay. Well, just as a comment then, honestly, I'd like to see exit 116, the gate, either repaired or open to at least Hoffman Hill. It would clear up a lot of the traffic that's there, and it would alleviate some of the stress going downtown in a lot of areas. But I get there's drama from when the city of DuPont defined its borders. I don't have all the history on it. It would be nice.
Sir, I might suggest that's probably an item more directly or more appropriately directed to the council itself. It's not necessarily an item that would come before the planning commission to review in the broadest sense of ways. I mean, they may be able to have some discussion in terms of our overall transportation plan, but I think your request would probably be most appropriately directed to the council. And I think it's something that, even though the short time I had been here, I think it's been on the minds of at least some of our elected officials in terms of that point. But raising it to them, I think they can give you some more direct answers in terms of what can be done.
So you're saying I need to come here during the...
Or you can write a letter to the council, or you can send an email in and we can forward it on to the council as well. I mean, there's a number of different ways of getting it before the council their attention. So if you want to email me, I'll be happy to forward that on to both the city administrator and the mayor.
Is your information?
What's that?
Is your information?
I do have cards out on the front counter again, under Jeff Wilson, yes. And if you want to email me, I'll forward it on to both the city administrator and the mayor in terms of bringing your concern or your question to the council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David Moore, G702 MacArthur Street. So on any SPIA, there's policies, procedures, and the standard guidelines. I'd like to read yours. Instructions for applicant. You may use, not applicable, or does not apply, only when you can explain why it does not apply, and not when the answer is unknown. As I stated earlier, all the adults here know what pi is, 3.14. In construction, in development, no matter not what goes for this text amendment and rezoning, there are knowns. There will be traffic impacts. Look up any SPIA text, rezone. There's 2 pages on transportation. You have a sentence, not applicable. NA. You have 19 pages of nothing. I was in construction. I know what these are. This is crap. And your hearings after the close date on this. And you're going to try to educate me on your 30 years? Come on.
I'd be happy to talk to you, Mr. Bowman.
Yeah. Also, thank you for tonight, for listening, really. There was a lot of stuff. But you as the planning commissioners are appointed by the elected officials. So they're looking for you to minimize some work. As he stated, he has 4 years of work in 1 year. So you stated you're not comfortable with it, but if you want to table it and ask people and then move on, but I appreciate what you're doing, but you were appointed, and everybody here is looking to you, and we're all neighbors. So I do appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. See no further comments. Go on to item number 11, which is planning chair comments. I just want to say this is a very productive evening. I was happy to see the folks come out and see the emotion and the passion that some of the people felt for this town, which I have to say I do share. I am a homeowner and probably a permanent resident in DuPont, so it just made me feel good that all the work that myself and the commission has done on this is being noticed. And with that, I'll yield the microphone to any of the planning commission members who'd like to speak.
Just sorry that it caused so much confusion tonight. I think we made the right decision, and look forward to plowing through the rest of this. Thanks.
I look forward to getting on to our extended agenda and the very important topic of the critical areas ordinance. And I do hope we have as much public participation for that process as we saw tonight.
I too just wanted to say I'm thankful that everybody came out and they paid attention to what's going on in our town, and I'm thankful that everyone was involved.
All right, thanks everybody. Thanks commission members. It's 8:20 and this meeting is adjourned.